Hi guys, we're over at Breitbart for an October 6th article. Gorka, Democrats will have a field day with gun control if bump stocks are outlawed. Dr. Sebastian Gorka, chief strategist for the MAGA coalition, joined SiriusXM host Alex Marlow on Friday's Breitbart News Daily to talk about the Las Vegas shooting, the possible motivations of the killer, and the call for new gun control legislation in the aftermath. Gorka disdained conspiracy theories, but said something does not add up about the Las Vegas attack. If you look around the internet, there's all kinds of videos and commentaries and analyses of people that support this. It goes on here to say, I think the local law enforcement are clearly under immense pressure. The undersheriff who spoke recently was doing a sterling job, but the lack of information coming out about this, the largest shooting incident in modern U.S. history, is just galling and disturbing, Gorka said. Gorka advised carefully watching the CBS News interview with Eric Paddock, the brother of gunman Stephen Paddock. He called it the most peculiar interview in modern televised history, a systematic 33-minute whitewashing of a mass murderer. Talk about how he's just a normal guy. How about how much he loved his girlfriend? This is the kind of tender individual he was. Watch the way he speaks. Watch his body language. A body language expert has already analyzed it with very, very pejorative analysis of whether this man is telling the truth, said Gorka. At the end of the day, do you know what the weirdest thing is? We know nothing of this man's politics. How is that possible, he asked. Addressing repeated claims by the Islamic State that Stephen Paddock was a convert to Islam and one of its soldiers, Gorka noticed that never in the history of mankind, never, has an upstanding citizen on Monday decided on Tuesday to kill 59 people. It happens over time. This is a process. Whether it's a psychotic break or whether it's a process of radicalization into a terror group, be it secular, be it right-wing, left-wing, jihadi, he elaborated. This takes time. It takes months, sometimes years. The idea there are no indicators from within his family, from within his associates, from within the people he sat down and played poker with is absolutely out of the question. The fact that to this day we have no reports of people who saw something and thought it was suspicious, that can tell us which direction he went in, whether it's political, psychological, or religious. It just stinks to high heaven, Gorka said. On the gun control debate that erupted after the Las Vegas shooting, Gorka drew on his own firearms expertise to point out that a bump stock, the devices allegedly used by the killer to fire semi-automatic rifles at near-automatic speed, is little more than a piece of plastic that makes the weapon fire more quickly by taking advantage of its recoil to squeeze the trigger faster than human muscles allow. It doesn't change the mechanism of a weapon, and that is why the ATF deemed it to be wholly legal, he said. You can do the bump fire effect without a bump fire stock. You can hook your thumb into your belt, put your finger in the trigger, and bump the weapon off your finger. Go to YouTube and watch a dozen videos on what bump firing is. This is just a cheap piece of plastic that allows you to affect something you can do without it in any case. And he's absolutely right. I've already perused YouTube and found lots of those videos because I didn't clearly understand what a bump stock functioned as either. Gorka warned that if you allow the camel's nose into the tent on bump fire stocks by passing legislation against them, then you have capitulated to the argument that the object itself is the problem, the inanimate object. I couldn't agree more, Mr. Gorka. That's what the problem with the whole narrative on this gun control issue has been as long as I can remember. It goes on here, this is what the left has told us for decades, that it's not somebody with a will to kill, be they terrorists, be they psychotic, it's this thing, this gun, or this addition to a gun. If we give in to that now, then it's over. And people like Feinstein and Schumer will just have a field day with this, he said. Gorka repeated that a very senior member of the NRA told him earlier this morning, we will fight any ban or confiscation scheme with the strongest possible resistance. And I'd just like to add in this particular point, they're absolutely right. Gorka's absolutely right. Because if they manage to get this victory, it'll just embolden them to go for something else. There's always going to be something else. It says here, you can see perhaps potential virtue signaling in terms of some media interpretations. But after what Wayne LaPierre has done after the fights, remember, what did they say after Newtown? Do you remember? They said the NRA is dead. They're toast. He's gone. The whole thing is going to cave. They didn't. They doubled down. And they fought for our rights. I think now we double down again. We say, guys, we're not going to give in to this. And in fact, reciprocity is what we're going to demand from the Congress, because this is what we need. I couldn't agree more, Mr. Gorka. They just keep pushing and pushing and pushing with the lamest of argument that one can have. And it's all false. It's all fake. We don't even know for sure that Mr. Paddock was actually the one that pulled the trigger. So there's too much debate going on about that. We don't know what happened, but we do know that we're not being told the truth or the whole truth, and we don't even know how to react until we at least know the truth of the situation. And the truth is never going to be that disarming innocent people, innocent citizens, is the answer to a criminal with killing people with weapons he shouldn't have had. That's never going to be the case. Y'all have a nice evening.